What if I told you there are countries in the world where U.S. court orders don't matter, where a judge banging their gavel can't touch your money? And what if I told you that's perfectly legal? So today we're going to break down the 6 most powerful offshore trust jurisdictions that the ultra-wealthy use to bulletproof their assets from lawsuits. Let's get started. If you own property, a business, or just have something worth protecting, you need to understand where your trust is set up can mean the difference between losing everything and keeping what's rightfully yours. I'm the business guy. I'm the CEO of the Lawyers Limited law firm and asset protection planners. And for 34 years, I've helped clients protect their wealth. And for nearly 30 of those, I've specialized in Cook Islands trusts more than anybody else on the planet. So yeah, I've seen what works and what fails. So today I'll walk you through the 6 offshore trust jurisdictions that stand up when lawsuits come knocking. Now, if you're serious about safeguarding your assets, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We post high-level strategies for protecting wealth from lawsuits, divorce, and financial threats. Now, let's dive into our first and most powerful offshore trust jurisdiction. Jurisdiction number 1 is the Cook Islands. It's really the gold standard. Location, South Pacific, east of New Zealand. Type, statutory offshore trust jurisdiction. Now, the Cook Islands really pioneered the modern offshore asset protection trust industry back in 1989, and they've really only strengthened since. Now, here's why they're number 1. First of all, no recognition of foreign judgments. A U.S. judge can scream all they want, and Cook Islands courts won't enforce it. Plaintiffs must litigate locally, and that means hiring an expensive Cook Islands attorney and fronting a huge retainer, say up to $100,000 up front. No contingency lawyers here. High burden of proof. Plaintiffs must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you set up the trust to defraud them in particular, and that's a criminal standard. And from personal experience, I've never seen a plaintiff or a judgment creditor win in the Cook Islands. Next, 2-year statute of limitations. So once assets are transferred and sit there quietly for 2 years, they're locked down tight. The courts in the Cook Islands won't even entertain a challenge of that transfer into the trust. And again, even if somebody did beat the clock, we've never seen a plaintiff or judgment creditor win that case, and the trust has worked every time. Next, licensed bonded trustees. We work at the trustee law firm that is regularly audited by KPMG, so your assets are managed legally and ethically. Structure. We typically structure our Cook Islands trust for our clients with a Cook Islands LLC inside, so you manage the LLC when the waters are calm. You're the signatory in the bank accounts and so on. Now, if a lawsuit hits, the trustee company can step in and protect you. U.S. courts can't force you to repatriate the funds. They would make you sign an affidavit under penalty of perjury that you're asking for the funds of your own free will and not being compelled by the courts. And U.S. courts cannot legally force you to perjure yourself. Here's a case study, the FTC versus Anderson, known as the affordable media case. The couple tried to get around court orders by claiming they couldn't bring back the assets from the Cook Islands. Now, U.S. courts tried to hold them in contempt, but the assets stayed protected. That landmark ruling affirmed the Cook Islands firewall. Jurisdiction number 2, Belize, the fast and flexible protector. Location, Central America. In fact, it's the only English-speaking country in Central America. Type, statutory trust. Jurisdiction, Belize is quickly becoming the go-to alternative to the Cook Islands, and it's more flexible, it's faster to set up. Here's what makes it powerful. First of all, no statute of limitations on fraudulent transfer when the settlor is also a beneficiary, and that's rare. You could be in the middle of a lawsuit and still gain protection, though the earlier the better. Next, no recognition of foreign judgments. Like the Cook Islands, Belize tells U.S. courts thanks but no thanks. Next, trustee discretion. The trustee can override your request if needed to keep your trust legal and compliant. That is, if a judge is forcing you to bring the money back, they can override that judge's ruling and protect your funds. In other words, they work for you, not the judge. Next, low setup costs, slightly more affordable than the Cook Islands for the same level of protection. Next, real-world use. We've used Belize trust successfully for clients who came to us after lawsuits were already underway. Now, in the Cook Islands, they're not too friendly with people bringing in setting up trusts and bringing a lawsuit in when somebody's already under litigation. It's going to be more expensive in the Cook Islands if somebody's already in a lawsuit, but Belize gives us that option where if somebody's already in a lawsuit, that's usually our first choice. Jurisdiction number 3 is Nevis. It's really a fortress with a $100,000 moat. Location, Caribbean. Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is the name of the country. Type, it's a statutory trust. Now the jurisdiction combines rock-solid trust law with one of the best LLC statutes in the world. Plaintiffs must post a $100,000 bond before filing a claim. In fact, I've been to Nevis several times. The premier of Nevis, the head of Nevis Island government, I have his cell phone number. We text each other every once in a while. Very, very familiar with Nevis. Beyond a reasonable doubt standard for fraudulent transfer claims. Next, 2-year statute of limitations, similar to the Cook Islands. However, the assets are protected right away. It just gives the opponent a couple-year window to be able to try to challenge the transfer, which they'll almost 100% lose. Next, LLC integration. We can layer a Nevis trust by putting a Nevis LLC inside of it, just like we do in Cook Islands and Belize, for double protection. Here's an example. We once helped a real estate investor facing a frivolous tenant lawsuit, a Nevis trust and Nevis LLC. We did equity stripping on the properties, and this made the creditor give up before filing. The bond alone scared them off. Jurisdiction number 4. Now we fly clear over to Europe. Jersey, not New Jersey, but the island of Jersey, which is near England. Jersey is the prestige option location. Now, it's in the Channel Islands. It's near the UK. Type, common law trust. Jurisdiction with statutory enhancements. Jersey offers top-tier asset protection. Though it leans more conservative, firewall statutes. Courts cannot recognize foreign claims that conflict with Jersey trust law. Strong rule of law. As a British Crown dependency, Jersey offers stability, the stability of a UK jurisdiction, and predictability and a professional legal structure. So it's really ideal for dynasty trusts or long-term wealth planning. Downside, U.S. judges tend to view Jersey as more mainstream, so it's not quite as untouchable as the Cook Islanders or Nevis, but it's respected and well defended. Now we're going to talk about the next two are also in similar jurisdictions. They're UK jurisdictions, and so we're going to summarize these 3 here in the end after we talk about them. So number 5, Guernsey. Flexibility meets control. Now the location, Channel Islands. Type, it's a common law trust jurisdiction. So Guernsey is Jersey's sister island, but with a bit more flexibility. Firewall legislation, like Jersey, it really blocks foreign judgments. It's a purpose trust and reserve powers, so it's great for clients who want to retain some control. Licensed trustees, all professional trustees must meet strict qualifications. Here's a use case. We've set up Guernsey Trust for UK and US families who want European respectability with rock-solid offshore options. Now, finally, this brings us to number 6, the Isle of Man. You may have heard of Isle of Man Trust. It's a tradition with teeth, is what I'm calling it. Location between England and Ireland. Okay, type, common law. Modern trust laws, the Isle of Man brings the heritage of British trust law with powerful updates. Though I might add, their updates have not been as robust as the Cook Islands, Belize, or Nevis for protecting assets from lawsuits. Purpose trusts allowed. We can use them for business succession, asset holding, or specific goals. Firewall protections. Like Jersey and Guernsey, it won't enforce outside judgments. Long-standing duration, perpetual or near perpetual trusts are available. Strict regulations. Trustees must be licensed, experienced, and regulated by the Isle of Man Financial Services Authority. Now, these are best for international clients who want elite compliant protection with a nod to tradition. Now, one note from my experience on these last 3, like as promised, Jersey, Guernsey, and Isle of Man, absolute total pain in the ass to work with, I must say, from my experience. All jurisdictions need to collect KYC or Know Your Client information. I mean, all these trust jurisdictions do, all 6 of them. But with these 3 jurisdictions, you send them what they want, what they ask for, and then you get more rounds of now we need this and now we need you to explain that, more rounds of paperwork, and they all need to be shipped in their original form. And by the time it's all over, our clients want to strangle us from frustration for the repeated rounds of information and the amount of time that it takes. So in addition, the 3 jurisdictions mentioned earlier have more robust asset protection statutes. So the asset protection from lawsuits is much stronger in the Cook Islands, Nevis, and Belize. So for protection and a pleasant experience, I would stick with those 3 jurisdictions. So here's some final thoughts. Which one is right for you? So here's the truth. No 2 clients are the same. If you're in or near litigation, the Cook Islands or Belize are likely your best bets. If you're in litigation, I would lean more toward Belize. We can still do the Cook Islands, but it's going to be more expensive and more scrutinized if you've already been served. So those are your best bets. If you're planning for long-term legacy protection, Guernsey or Isle of Man might be better suited if asset protection isn't the big thing that you want. And if you want the strongest combination of control and protection, that's where our Cook Islands trust structure really shines. So you stay in control of a Cook Islands LLC inside of the trust, when everything is calm. And then our trustee law firm can step in as manager of that LLC, because the LLC is the one that really holds the bank account, and it's 100% inside the trust. So in other words, the trust owns 100%, it's 100% member of that LLC. So the trustee steps in only if you need them to legally defend you. I mean, think about it. I mean, your assets would be gone from the courts anyway, so why not have a licensed, bonded trustee in the most reputable jurisdiction in the world, the Cook Islands, step in to protect you? I have a Cook Islands trust for myself and my family. Our trustee company law firm, they're the only signatory in the bank account in my case. You don't have to do that initially. You can do that when the emergency strikes. I don't have an emergency, but I like to practice what I preach. So your assets stay safe offshore, beyond the reach of your local courts. And we do set this up for people in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, or all over the world. We have clients worldwide. So it's really a system that we've refined over the decades. We've set up, like I may have mentioned, more Cook Islands trusts than any firm in the world. You can feel free to visit assetprotectionplanners.com for a lot more free information there. You can give us a call if you're serious and not curious and you want to explore what structure makes sense for your situation. Typically, we recommend you have at least $500,000 or more in assets to justify the setup of these trusts. So if you're in that category, you're concerned about lawsuits, we're here to answer questions for you. So whether you're defending wealth now or planning ahead, the best time to build your fortress is before the arrows fly. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and turn on your notifications by clicking that bell icon. We're here to help high net worth individuals and business owners stay protected, stay private, and stay in control. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.